my show.
All right. Here we go. This is Brent Rains for Alternate Perceptions Online Magazine, and it's a nice day to be doing an interview here because it's been snowing outside. We're up on this. I live up on a hill in south central Tennessee, and at the moment, a little while ago, I took the ruler out and it was 4.5 inches. And our guest today happens to know something about snow, living out in Colorado. Um, she's probably got some right now, I imagine. But anyway,
No, no, it's
well,
beautiful.
well, that's just kind of strange.
There's actually a little bit. I can look at the mountains. I can see part of my view of the mountains. You can see some up there, but it's amazing here. It is a dry cold. It makes all the difference in the world from what you're used to in your area. It's awesome. There's snow and sun, and then it goes away real fast, but then it snows again, a lot.
Well, all the kids are disappointed. No snow for Christmas, but we're getting it now. But anyway, I was on Coast to Coast AM recently with the host, Connie Willis, professional broadcaster of 20 years, including Disney. I never heard of that before. No, just kidding. Oxygen Network, ESPN, Speed, QVC, HSN, and more. You can also find her here with her latest project that takes you to creepy hotspots with real investigations of Bigfoot, strange lights, hauntings live virtually. And join Blue Rock Talk, her exclusive membership community at www.conniewillis, as all one word.com. In fact, I'll be on it myself in the coming months, I think in August, Fire Out Thursday.
Yeah.
And for half price, off the price forever right now, and for veterans, first responders, and senior citizens discounts that are at rock bottom, go again to www.conniewillis.com. So,
Yay.
okay.
Beautiful, beautiful.
So, Connie, tell us a little about how you got started, a little about your journey up to this point, and then we'll get into the really rocky
Good,
stuff.
good meat stuff, right? That
Yeah.
that good stuff. Well, I just walked in here today and turned on the lights, and here I am.
Wow.
No, I got to tell you, you know that broadcasting background and stuff, and just what I always knew I wanted to be in front of cameras, around cameras, microphones. I never knew what it was, but I always knew I wanted to be in it, and I would, as a kid, I only knew film and the words movie star. So everybody would say she wants to be a movie star, and they actually nicknamed me movie star. There's movie star. I didn't ever know what that really meant, and of course I didn't. I kind of went the film way at first, but I found that it was more fun to be just me. And so TV worked out a little bit better. Not all films can you really just be yourself. It's usually a script, right? So, but I did
Hmm.
get involved in all that stuff. And it was interesting because I always wondered, why do I know what I've always wanted to do? What's wrong with these people? Like when I went to the University of Kentucky for college, I was like, what's wrong with these people that continue to take classes forever? I just want to get out and start doing what I'm doing. I'm only doing this for mom and dad, getting the degree. That's it. And because you could go to LA or New York and start doing your stuff, it wouldn't matter, your background kind of thing, or at least I had thought at the time. But one
Hmm.
psychic at one point just said to me at one point, said, and I didn't solicit it. I just always had it in my head. And he goes, you were doing the same stuff you're doing now in another life, and that's why you've always known what you've wanted to do. And I just thought, wow, that makes sense, because I never understood why people didn't know, but I've just always loved it. I did start getting discernment along the way when I was in college. I remember taking a performance class, and it was this guy that looked just like George Carlin. His name was Clay Gauntz. He looked just like George Carlin and act just like George Carlin in front of the
Well,
class. He
here's a
was
character then.
hilarious. And he said, what do you want to do? Your top three things? And I was like, film, TV. And I said, I don't even have a third thing. He goes, radio falls in there. I'm like, no, no. He goes, why not? I said, I want to do radio. I want to do film or TV. And he said, You're going to do radio and you're going to figure out that that's your best foundation of all those other things you want to do. And I'm like, yeah, right. But man, was he right. I had a radio class, and it was senior year. It was we had to create a 60-minute spot, and we had to include sound effects, copy, everything that go, so many sound effects, all these things. You look back at that now and go, wow, we did like 5 of those or 6 of those a day when we were in radio, and produce it all. But that was the final. And I didn't have a place to do it because it was at the very end of the year. Everybody's getting ready for graduation. All the studios that I never even saw in my life on campus were being used by, I don't know, some other college. I don't, it wasn't the College of Journalism or the College of Communication there. Somebody else was using them. I thought, who would give them permission when we need this equipment? So, as fate would have it, about a week before, a friend of mine went out and to some club dancing, and there were these 2 guys acting as though they were these big radio guys. And we were like, there's no way. But they gave me their card, and I contacted them and said, remember when you guys said that you're at a radio station? Yep. Well, I need a studio for my final. Can I do it there? And they said, absolutely. So it was a real story. And they weren't just hitting on us chicks there, but I put it together, and the guy said, before you leave, let me hear it. And I was like, sure, please, yeah. And so I put it together. He heard it. And then I was hired to do overnights at that station in Lexington, Kentucky before I even graduated college. Isn't that cool? So that's how I first got started. And then internship in television, which made me know I did not want to do news. And, I wanted to do fun stuff. And so that's kind of how it started from there.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. And really, I kind of gathered that some of the stuff you got involved with, it was really, a good experience, but it really wasn't your cup of tea. This was something that came well through what you're doing now, actually, like Coast to Coast AM and your Blue Talk radio and a Blue Rock radio. Sorry.
Yeah, not even radio, man. It's cool. It's even cooler than that. It's got, the video. We take you on live investigations, real active, creepy hotspots of Bigfoot and Dogman. And your buddy Sandy we're going to have something. We're going to have a creepy hotspot there at one point. And you're going to come, and we're going to have fun. And we're going to dig up whatever else he's got on that property, I think. The Poltergeist property, even though it's the Paranormal Palace. Sorry.
Yeah, well, that's what they called it one day. Yeah,
I like that.
What a stuff. Yeah, Thompson Station, Sandy Nichols. Yes,
Sandy. Yeah.
Yeah. So you take people. They subscribe to your site, and they actually get to experience live what's happening, and you interview the people, and you set up and wait for maybe something to occur.
Yeah. We try to make communication, right? Just like you guys do. You're good at that with the EVPs and stuff. You just try to get that communication, right? At one point I thought, what are we trying to do? Because you can't always get a picture. You can't always get things right. So it's like, it's really communication that we're trying to get, right?
Mm-hmm. So have you done the EVPs or as of yet or?
Oh, Brent. Oh, no, no, no. You ready for this? Now, see, I grew up in a haunted house. And so, when that's the case and mom and dad won't move because there's a ghost in the house, right? Your mom believes your dad's like, are you kidding? And even if he believed, he'd go, we pay for this house we're building on. We're doing this and that. We're creating this home. There's no way we're leaving because you see a ghost. But that ghost, whatever it was, looking back, I know it wasn't evil because now, I've experienced evil. And it wasn't evil, but you don't know that as a kid. You just know that you feel it. It's there. It's behind you, next to you, around you. I didn't sleep a full night until I went away to college the first night. And I woke up in the dorm going, why do I feel so good? Oh, I slept for the first time ever throughout the night.
So did you see it or just were there poltergeist type manifestations or?
It was, you could feel it. You knew where it was. You could feel when it was close by. I was the person that, I'm a remote viewer certified through Lynn Buchanan, one of the psychic spies, and he always teaches ambiance of how to notice what's different in the room or what's around you. And I already learned. I was like, tell me more because I'm past that. And the reason why is because as a kid, my
Hmm.
ambiance was really good because I wanted to know where that thing was so I could run away from it and be as far away as possible. So you could feel it. It would make noises. It would actually, you would hear voices without, you would just hear voices without having to have a recorder and listen back to it. You would
Hmm.
hear, and not only you would hear it, but somebody else would hear it too.
Yeah.
Sometimes it would imitate like my mom, but my mom wasn't home. There would be things moved. There would be things that you would see out of the corner of your eye move. There would be things that happened in the house, and you're like, what? You would think somebody was there. Phones would be picked up in the other rooms and even dialed at times, and nobody's there. The older phones, like we had a phone in the basement, Brent. That's
Hmm.
where this thing loved to be, and I didn't. And there was a phone down there that if you ever picked it up and dialed it, because it was a dial, you would hear it in my on my dad's alarm clock phone. Back then you had all these weird phones, right?
Hmm.
And if anybody picked up a phone anywhere, especially this particular one and dialed it, you would hear my dad's phone, even though it's not picked up, this digital clock phone go da 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 da. And see, we knew that as teenagers, hating it because if you made a call in the middle of the night, our dad would know. What are you doing? Who are you talking to? What boy are you talking to right now? And so that was, the way it
Yeah.
was. But I was up there. I remember being up there alone one time and I was just in my dad's bedroom doing something, looking out, going through to a front porch that we had there. And this was in Kentucky. That's where I grew up. And that thing went da, 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 da. And I was like, ah! And my dad wasn't home yet, and I was the only one there, and it just kept dialing. And I actually went over to it and picked it up and listened. And I heard like and I went, and I hid somewhere. I don't remember where I hid, but I grabbed a knife and I was just hiding until my dad got home. And he
Wow.
didn't believe me, of course, and there was nothing there.
Did you
What do you do?
did you ever get any of those spirit phone calls? There's books that have been written about phone calls from the dead and all that sort of thing, and
Maybe
there's
that's what that was.
some pretty spooky
It was
accounts.
spooky.
But anyway, so you already had this prior interest, and you were doing cooking shows, and you were doing
Yeah.
covering sports and things,
Yeah.
but it left you sort of unfulfilled, and as far as your real passion and interest there, I guess.
Yeah.
And
I would put it, I was doing everything I wanted to do. I knew I didn't want to do news because basically, as an intern, um, they would send out all the reporters, and then the intern would be left there waiting for some story to get. And, you're looking around going, man, I want to be an anchor. I don't want to be a reporter. And you're sitting there. Then they send you out on something. And what they send you out on, because you're the intern waiting, are those
mhm,
things that happen last minute, like a fire or a car crash or train crash or something like that. It's always something horrible. And it was usually fatal. But in doing that, you would get the first story, like, hey, you got the first story tonight again. Yeah, but that's only because someone died. Everybody else was somewhere else. So they sent us interns. That was not fun to me. And everybody thought I should be proud because I had you had the breaking news story. I didn't care. It was awful. I didn't like that at all. You're dressed up too, and you're at a fatal fire, and you're in these shoes with heels, and a piece of charcoal flies out at you. I mean, this is real deal stuff, and you're on the front lines. It's
mhm,
not fun. I didn't like it. But yeah, I did do the sports and I did do all that. And what I learned from those things, they were great networks. It was a lot of fun, but I was spitting out information. I was learning it and spitting it out, learning it and spitting it out. Some of it I really love more than others, but there were some things I was like, I cannot wait to do a show where I really know the information, just like when I was at car shows and they started hiring all the car people instead of broadcasters. Like, I'm a broadcaster, right? I'm trained to learn it and spit it out. You understand this?
Mhm.
Learn it, spit it out, learn it, spit it out. But I was like, man, I wish I didn't have to work so hard learning it.